Hi everybody, welcome back. My name's Alison, the online piano and the online violin tutor. Welcome to lesson 33 from Learn to Play the Piano Book 4. So Learn to Play the Piano Book 4 is a follow-on series from books 1, books 2 and book 3. Book 5 will be out later on in this year. And what's new for book 4 and book 3 is that they now are available with a songbook which is accompanied with them. So the songbook contains 10 pieces which are made up of well-known classical pieces and some original pieces by me. And these books, these are like extra kind of addendum books. They go hand in hand with the Learn to Play the Piano Book 4. This has been specifically tailor-made to go hand in hand with this book, just if you want some extra pieces to have a go at. Well, the link from where to buy them is directly above my head. I'll put a direct link in the description bar underneath this video as well. So let's get on with the lesson. So lesson 33, just before I go on to lesson 33, I just want to point out that you will see that the book is slightly blurred in the video. It's just to protect the copyright of the book, that's all. When you buy and download your copy of the book, it'll be a crystal clear version of it. So lesson 33, we're going to learn 8 more scales: E major, A major, B major, E flat major, B flat major, and 3 minors: E minor, B minor and G minor. So hopefully in book 2 you will have learnt the other 6 or so scales and arpeggios that we've got. Book 4 we're going to be moving on to 8 more scales and arpeggios in fact. And these are all going to be 2 octaves straight away, because at this point we don't really need to do 1 octaves anymore. We're going to go straight into 2 octaves. If you can play 2 octaves, you'll be able to play 1 octave. So it's up to you if you want to start by doing these 1 octave. I'll leave that with you, but I have just put 2 octaves in this book. So these 8 scales that we're learning now go along with where we should be at this point in our piano learning career, and all the sharps and flats etc. that you get in each key, which will be covered later on in the book, are what we should be knowing and what we should be learning piece-wise. So it is going to get a little bit more complicated, yes, but we are on book 4 and you know the piano does get more complicated than this, but this goes along with our learning, so it shouldn't present too much of a problem. They are simply scales after all. So there's a lot of information here on page 10 that you can read, but it's just basically going into a little bit about keys, covering what we kind of said in book 2, reiterating that, re-going over all of that. And then on the next few pages, or the bottom of page 10, sorry, and then going into page 11 and 12 are your scales. So I'm going to play all of the scales through very quickly just so you can see me play them. But I mean, everything you need is all down in here. We have covered this in book 2 and in the videos in book 2, so I'm not going to waste time explaining all of that. At this stage anyway, if you're learning these scales, you will have at least covered the scale of C, the scale of D, the scale of G, probably F major, A minor and D minor. So again, it's cumulative, so you don't want to be jumping in at these scales. You must have learned the other 6, or you will probably have learned the other 6 that I just said, and the ones that are in book 2 before you go on to these ones. Otherwise these ones will get a little bit more complicated. So this is E major. A major scale. I just want to point out as well about the speed. This is probably about the speed you should be playing these scales now anyway. Try not to play them too fast, you know, because you'll find that that'll just be a little bit too fast and you'll get your fingers in a muddle and you won't have time to think. But you don't want to be playing them. That's fine when you're learning the scale and you're getting to grips, but as a kind of aiming for a final speed, just a gentle kind of moving along pace. You know, not too fast and not too slow. So moving on to B major, remembering that the left hand starts with a finger 4, just like we did F major. That finished on a finger 4. The B major one is the opposite of that, so it starts on a finger 4 in the left hand and it ends on a finger 4, so that's fine. That's pretty much the only 2 scales that kind of start and finish on a 4th finger. F is with the right, B is with the left. So that's quite a nice scale because everything is everything's quite nicely on the black note, so it kind of falls nicely around the fingers. Moving on to E flat major. Now what I suggest is that you just spend a bit of time playing this separately before you put it together. The fingerings are slightly different with this and probably something that you won't have played before because you've got 3 flats in E flat major. So what I suggest, don't just go starting to play E flat major because this is different. This one starts on a black note and we haven't started on a black note before. So I suggest that you just look very, very carefully at the fingering. If you don't look at the fingering and you don't work out the fingering, you'll have so much trouble with this. So just take a bit of time to learn the fingering. Once you have, it'll all fall under the fingers. I think that the same thing goes for B flat major as well, but I think with students when I'm teaching them these, the E flat and the B flat major, these are the two they find the hardest because they get confused as to where the 4th finger goes and where the 3rd finger goes. So we can't do our usual 1, 2, 3. I mean, you can just see how difficult I'm kind of making that, and it is very difficult to do that. So we have to use some slightly different fingering. So the fingering is all there, it's all self-explanatory. I'm just going to play it through so you can see. So all of that goes for B flat major as well, so look at the fingering. Moving on to E minor. And B minor. Again, this starts with the 4th finger. Some folks find B minor quite difficult to do, and I think it's because it's kind of all higgledy-piggledy. It's black, then it's white, black, it's white. It doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason. But if you remember that it's this black note, so the left of the 2 black notes, and the end of the 3 black notes, so you just don't do the middle one, and you don't do, out of the 2, you don't do the one on the right. So this is the pattern for black notes. So when I come to play these scales, and I haven't played them in quite a while, for example, I just think about what black notes it is that I have to play, and then I just know which white notes I need to play because it just kind of makes musical sense. I've been playing for a long time anyway, so it's easy for me to work out, but I just remember the black notes. So again, just play 1 octave for that, just to set yourself up for that if you want to. Lastly, G minor scale, one of my favourites actually. So that's it for lesson 33. In the next lesson we're going to be going on to the arpeggios. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Don't forget the links to both Learn to Play the Piano Book 4 and the Songbook 4 will be linked directly underneath this video. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next lesson.